Yeah,
Yo,
that word, man.
ain't shit, baby. Ain't nothing.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Financial Sunday.
Yep,
Talking
that's what
about,
it is.
talking about, you know. Let's let it. Let's wait a little bit. How y'all Sunday going, fellas?
Last month.
Yeah, mine going pretty good, man. I can't even complain. We here. We definitely here, you know.
Yes, sir. The wife in there, she got some food ready, man. I can't wait to get into it, man. It's
Yeah,
one of those Sundays, you know.
yeah, I already ate my dinner. I'm done. I had to get it in early. You see, the older you get, your digestive, system don't work the same. So you got to eat a little bit earlier.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna be on that grill today, man. The rain wasn't agreeing with me, man. I was trying to be outside on that grill.
I
I
definitely
saw
hear
what you
that.
did last. I saw what you did last week, bro. Right? So you trying to put it down on that
Yeah.
grill?
Oh yeah, no, I didn't do well. I did actually get on the grill again today. I cooked some chicken, but I did it earlier before the because we had some rain up here, so
Oh, all right.
so
Yeah, man, but it makes sense, man. We here today, man. We're gonna talk about credit, certain financial things that people may not know, people may not even understand what credit is. We're gonna get into that type of stuff today. You feel me? We got Dave here, he been doing his thing with the credit situation. He been kicking knowledge to us, and whoever else, But we're gonna get into it. We got sleep up there, sleep me, sleep Dave. We're gonna piggyback off the situation, but we coming up here today to figure out what's credit for those who don't know, you know?
all right,
So
and I definitely can say with that the reason why this discussion came up is because me, Rob, and another counterpart of ours, we always was talking about credit. We wanted cars, we wanted other things. People wanted to have bikes and so on and other things. So just dealing with it where getting cell phones. You know what I mean? Even stuff like that. That when it goes to talk about your credit and so on and so forth. So we just wanted to know on how to get credit and how to use it because I got a bad credit score, but I'm working on getting a better credit score. You know what I mean? Because I had no idea what that was. You know what I mean? So I got a credit card and I used it. I didn't care. I maxed it out. You know what I mean? And I paid whatever. What was the minimum? That's what I paid. I paid the minimum. So what? You know what I mean? And right when I needed to pay it again, or if I needed a card, I paid it off right then and there, and I waited a little bit and I paid. You know what I mean? That's what I did with me. So I didn't understand what, and I thought, oh, my credit is good. I got a good credit card. I'm paying my credit on time or whatever. So I didn't kind of understand even personally with myself. So I started looking into some things of learning how to better my credit. You know what I mean? Because I wanted some financial freedom. You know what I mean?
right,
That's the basis of all of this is what we're trying to do. I'm trying to learn and so I can try to get better financial freedom and know-how of how to have financial freedom. So that's why I am also working on my credit. And I know that's part of moving forward to being financially free. You know what I mean?
right.
Or at least working towards a get rich or die trying type of mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what my journey is right now with this. And through my journey, there have been a couple of brothers that I've been talking to, Rob, now Dave also too. And Dave has been a little bit more knowledgeable, from a lot more knowledgeable, let me say, for the type of stuff that I've been interested in. And I believe that more conversations like this and more stuff like this, we should have more conversations like this on Sundays instead of having them
True
about
indeed.
football, instead of having them about our bikes, instead of having them about our softball games or baseball or football or all that type of stuff. These are the type of things that too that maybe we should also put aside. We can still do those other things, but these are good conversations that I want to start having with my counterparts, my peers, my other black men, black fathers, boys, men. These are the conversations that I think that we should start having. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's where a lot of this is all coming from. You know what I mean, gentlemen? So with that, I'm just gonna be
Also, wait, let
quiet
me let me
and pass
piggyback
the
off of
mic to
that real
you.
quick.
Heard you.
Off of what you were saying about how you started with your credit and everything like that. You know, you got a lot of people who start off like that, not knowing, just using it, paying a minimum. Then also on the flip side, you feel me? You got people who don't even really use it or acknowledge it. Like for instance, you feel me? You got people who don't even understand that it is a tool and also think that cash is, they go with the cash is king thing. People that just utilize their cash and what they got. So people that move like that and the people that don't know, like how you was when you first started, this is why we're doing this today, to educate everybody to know what credit is and how it can be used. So that being
There we
said,
go.
we could pass the mic to Dave.
So thank you for having me. Letting me be a part of this, fellas. I really appreciate it. And again, I'm not a gatekeeper kind of dude. Like I told y'all, anything that I've learned, a lot of times my family tell me I talk too much, but it's trying to me, you know, share what I've learned, my experiences. So, what I'm going to try to do today is talk about the core topic because we had a lot of different things that we could have answered today, but we want to keep this short and digestible for people. So, the big question: what is credit? And the short and skinny answer is credit is basically your report card for what banks see. Meaning, if you want to borrow money, if your cousin always comes to you and asks you to borrow $20 and he never pays you that $20 back, even though he tells you he's going to pay it on Tuesday, on his report card to you, he a bad risk. Why am I going to loan him anything when he has no track record of ever paying me back or doing what he promised that he would do? On a high level, that basically is credit. It is what rating you are, what your report card tells banks about you and your ability and your willingness, not just your ability, because people can have the money to pay it off. It's also the willingness, the consistency that you will repay a debt, right? And if you're looked at as if you have a low credit score, you're looked at as a person as if I loan this person money, whether it's for a car, a credit card, a mortgage, anything, personal loan, the odds of this person repaying me back, for the 30-year mortgage, a 5-year car loan, whatever it is, it's either absolutely they're going to pay me back. There's no risk here whatsoever, or I don't know, this dude kind of shaky.
Right.
And now we're not going to take this risk on you. So again, I bring it back to just personal. When somebody in your family or one of your friends comes and they ask you to borrow some, it could be $5, it could be $1,000. You go back into your history and be like, do they have the ability to pay me back? One,
Hmm.
you're gonna tell me back you just
Right.
lost your job, you broke, and that happens to everybody. So there's nothing wrong with that. But you're trying to come to me and tell me that you're gonna pay me back in a week because you have a job interview tomorrow. Well, if you have a job interview tomorrow, it doesn't you're not gonna get paid for at least 2 or 3 weeks. How are you gonna pay me back next week? So your ability to pay me back, and then your willingness to pay me back. Because that same dude, now he's getting those paychecks. He got the new job, and you still looking at him spending, living his life, and he still hasn't come back to give you your money back. You're not pressed for it, but this is what you agreed to do when I said, okay, here's the money. So that on a high level, that basically is credit. It's what a bank looks at you, it's how a bank looks at you and determines your ability and willingness to repay what you borrowed
Okay.
in a nutshell.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So I gotta also just want to say, well, I'm just like everybody else, man. I think I told you when there was a time in my life right around when my son, my oldest child was born. My girl, now wife, at the time had to put me on. My credit was so bad I couldn't even get a checking account to cash my checks, like to deposit my paychecks. She had to put me on her bank account because I
Hmm.
lived a life of, okay, I got made $500 in 2 weeks. How much do I need in order to enjoy my life? And then how much of that am I willing to spend to pay the light bill, my cell phone bill, and things like that? So I was
Mm,
horrible.
I
I mean, that was
got
just
you.
my mindset, right?
Mindset. Yeah,
Where
mindset. Yeah.
these bills ain't important. They rich. They'll get their money whenever I give them their money. But the
Mm-hmm.
agreement was supposed to be, hey, we're gonna give you this cell phone with these minutes, and it's gonna cost this much every month. You agree to pay. We all say yeah, but the willingness to pay
Mm-hmm.
is something different, and we fall into this trap of you know just just not paying. And then it
Right.
doesn't and once it catches up to you, now you got to dig out of the hole. And I think in the upcoming weeks we'll talk about how to dig out of the hole and things like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, we
Yes,
get into that.
Yeah, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
But did
All
that
right.
make sense, fellas?
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, like you said, it's a report card based on how you are if you're able to pay back or if you're willing to pay back. So so basically, the credit is a tool for everybody that everybody can use. Just like the cash is a tool, everybody could utilize the credit and the cash. It's something that I feel like everybody needs, to do. I mean, at this point, you need credit for a lot of things. You need credit to do a lot of things. So, for like you said, for people who don't know, credit is like the report card for the banks in order to see how you are with money, if you're willing to pay the money back, and if you're able to pay the money back. You know.
Now I gotta agree with you. I think cash is king. I personally keep cash,
Hmm.
just because in theory I can just go get it. I'm not like refining the crib or nothing crazy like that, right? I can go get it and get out of a situation. But some people don't believe in credit whatsoever. And what I have to say to those people are, yeah, you can build a deck, and instead of getting a hammer, a tool, you can use a rock, right? You can use a rock to
Hmm.
nail in their nails, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, that rock is a
Right.
tool, but having a hammer or that the gun, you know what
The
I'm talking
nail
about,
gun.
your nail gun,
Hmm.
it's just a better tool. So some
Hmm.
people who don't ain't gets the job done more efficiently, gets it done quicker. You have more options. But then there's other people who strive for that top tier credit score, that 850 or whatever it is,
Hmm.
and they just focus on that. And that's like instead of just having a regular nail gun, you have to get the big air compressor and all that stuff. It
Yeah.
may be overkill, but it's kind of two ends of the of the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
It's where you want to be. And I think in life, and I think y'all agree with me, you want as many tools as possible to get you where you want to go.
Hmm.
Right.
And before people start talking about, you know I need to get my credit right and things like that, get it right for what are your plans? What
Hmm.
are you going to use this tool for?
Right.
Do you just want to flex and say you have an 850? All right, well, that's cool. It's not a bad thing, but I think people should really be focused on what are you going to use this for? Do you want to open a business one day? Do you want to get a nice, reliable car for the first time in your life, kind of thing? Do you want to buy a house to put your kids in, right,
Right.
in the next couple of years? It has to be a reason. Everything that's money, whether it's cash or credit, has to have a purpose. It's kind of what I taught my kids. It has to have a purpose. Like my daughter wants to say, is saving money. She wants to save 5 grand in a separate account. And I'm like, why? She's like, well, just to have it. Baby, it's not a bad idea. Saving is always good, but you should also have a purpose for your money. It
Hmm.
needs to, in a perfect world, if you have $1, you want to send that dollar out in the world. This is a Kevin O'Leary thing. You want to send that dollar out in the world and have it bring back one or two of his friends.
Hmm.
Right.
Right.
Like,
Right.
so again, that's your money. And I include credit when you talk about money because they should have, in my opinion, your money should have a purpose. There should be a reason behind why you're doing it because that keeps you focused
Hmm.
on not overspending on your credit cards, right? Not taking out too many lines of credit because that's not a part of the goal. That's not a part of the purpose. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you
Okay.
could easily slip up. You could easily see going off of what you said. Like it could be to where somebody building up that credit with no purpose, and then you start seeing what you could actually do, and you ain't really got no plan for it anyway. Now you start, getting into other things, like you start seeing the pros that come with it, and you ain't even really have a purpose with it. It's hard to really, some people get that temptation, man. You see your
Yeah,
credit that's
you're gonna go cop that Rolex or
you
watch for
feel
the
me?
first
You,
Yeah,
you
time.
start
yeah,
seeing what you
And,
could do. Oh, I
and
could do
yeah,
this. No money down. Oh, you feel me? Now you start making them, But when you got that
yeah.
purpose and all right, this is what I got to do so I could do this. It kind of help you with the disciplines mentality kind of thing. So
Exactly.
I agree with that.
And
I
and
agree with that.
and when people start getting approved for their first cards and things like that, they do
Mm-hmm.
things like um getting store cards, which I think are the worst cards to have. I mean, I have a Best Buy store card, but like I told you before, I use that my Best Buy store card because they give me 0% interest for up to 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I only buy my appliances there. So if
Right.
my refrigerator breaks,
Right.
I have the cash to do it, but I get 0% interest plus my rewards points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
and I don't have to take 3 years to pay it off. I can pay it off in 6 months if I want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my now the money that I was going to spend on that, in theory, I can take that money, invest it, and make enough money to make those monthly payments. I don't
Right.
want to go too deep, but
Nah, nah,
yeah,
nah.
you,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
no,
Right.
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah,
I hear
you
you.
too. But
I see
again,
what you're
it's
saying.
about that Kevin O'Leary. You have $1, you want to send it out in the world and have it bring back one or two of his friends, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
Exactly.
how you would want to do it at some level. I mean, you want to manage risk, obviously, but you definitely want to be thinking more of that way. So the purpose of that line of credit, that credit card, that store card, I hate them. So if you have like a Macy's card, you're stupid. How many pairs of jeans do you need? Right? Like
makes
it's
sense.
just
Yeah.
Yeah,
what do you
Yeah.
don't need that, right? A store card for that. But for me, my appliances when they break in the house, it's a big pain in the butt. I got all the warranty protection with Best Buy.
Uh,
I just rock with them, so it just makes sense for me to be like
makes sense.
swipe, right? Then that works for me, and that's the only store card that I have. I don't have an Amazon store card because again, cards like that will get you in trouble. You can only spend it at
Facts.
Amazon,
Facts.
right?
Facts.
You
That's
can.
what.
Right, you can end up spending more on an item because you don't have the cash to buy it at a regular store, but it's on
Hmm.
Amazon a little bit higher, plus the interest on it because you're not going to pay it. You end up in trouble if you don't have
Exactly.
a plan for what you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
copy, copy.
Yeah.
See, what's about that? What's so deep about that too? Though I just wanted because I try to look at things in other perspectives in life. That's like what I mean. Like if you got a football team, right? And you
Hmm.
guys you're in the workout. Y'all work out all the time. You know what I mean? Biggest, strongest team. You know what I mean? But y'all don't practice any plays.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You just work out.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Just
see
work
that.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're the fittest and the most strongest football team. Y'all look the biggest, but when y'all get out on the football field, there ain't no playing. Y'all don't have no plays. You don't know how to talk to each other. There's
Mm-hmm.
no type of,
Get the
you know what I
get
mean?
yourself
So
in the gym.
yeah, what's the purpose of you working out being a football team if y'all not having no plan for the reason why y'all doing? Y'all not coming
Facts.
together and making a plan or anything with it. You know what I mean? And this is like I said, I'm gonna bring this all back into perspective to it. What I'm saying it's like, we all coming back into it. This is something that Dave is very knowledgeable with. You know what I mean? Not saying that Rob is something that he's more knowledgeable with or that I'm knowledgeable with that each one of these gentlemen don't know, but we need to start having these conversations with more serious things in life, more things that we can start, really building and talking about and doing stuff. That's why I said I appreciate this, Dave. This type of stuff really stimulates me. You know what I mean? On the
Mm.
on the, on the aspect of talking like this and talking about something that is really going to make sense for me mentally, financially, if I actually go and I follow this, which I've been
Hmm.
doing certain things that you told me, you know what I mean, about,
Hmm.
that you I wouldn't even say that you told me that you shared with me that you did, because that's all you're
Yeah,
just
yeah,
telling me stuff that you did and
yeah.
it worked for you and it's working for me and it's gonna and
Nice,
also that it has been, you know what I mean?
nice.
So You know, and I definitely appreciate that. You know what I mean? I know how to play football. I know how to do all that other stuff. Tell me about
Yeah,
some other stuff. You know what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right,
No
You
doubt.
know,
right,
and I
right.
and I definitely appreciate you for that. And we all need to start. Somebody might know about carpentry and hammering or whatever it might be. You know what I mean? And whatever it may, the aspects of that. But these are the type of things that I want us to start having these conversations. And don't be afraid of it. You know what I mean? Shit, I go camping. I'm a black man that goes camping. You know what
No,
I
I love
mean?
camping too, yo. You ain't the
Yeah.
only one. No, ain't nothing
No,
wrong with that. Trust me.
he done got me into it. I'm ready for the next joint. I can't wait.
Yo, and I know you go fishing too, so I mean,
Yeah,
and that's a whole
yeah. I
nother
fish
conversation.
decent.
Yeah,
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 I
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
fish
yeah,
too.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Ain't nothing wrong with a
And,
couple
Yeah.
of catching a couple of bass while you out
That's what
there,
I'm
you
saying.
know?
One of these times while we covering this topic, it might be, me and we might be at a campsite or fishing somewhere. You feel me? You never know.
Yo, for real,
You never
for
know,
real.
you know?
Yo, real talk. And maybe we'll get into this another week, but I'm looking into buying a small, like a small camper, just to make it easier, to go.
Yeah,
But
man, that's
again,
dope.
weighing the credit options, the cash options, and again, even before making this purchase, what is the purpose of doing this? Am I going to live this life? Right? People go through a phase in life where you can never afford to do anything. And then when you can mess it all up because you just go just too hard getting all
Right.
the things you never were able to have. Now you're able to have them, and now you're over leveraged. You stretch yourself too thin, right? You got too
Mm-hmm.
much stuff, right? So that's why I always like to talk about having a purpose, for the things in your life, and your finances. They all have to serve a purpose. I'm a firearms kind of dude, and especially here in Georgia. Um, every firearm that I have or will ever buy needs to have a purpose, right? It makes no sense
Mm-hmm.
for me to have six shotguns. They're all 12 gauge. They're all, I mean, it's all the same. What is the point of having multiple?
Right.
Right. I want an everyday carry. I may want, everything, especially when it comes to your finances. Your money needs to I just can't stop saying it enough. Your money needs to have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it serves you and you don't serve it.
Right. That's something to live with, for real.
Yeah, yeah, seriously, seriously.
For real.
And I didn't know if we wanted to really touch or wait till next week, but just talk about credit freezes and doing like people doing research, like that kind of thing. Do you think is bring that up now or next
go
week?
ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead.
you
I
go ahead.
mean,
You can run it.
you burning.
All right. Well, I think that everybody, while they're starting this journey and they're at this point, I think there's two things that they need to do. We all know the three credit agencies, right? Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Each one of them have a website where you can sign up completely free, and you can do what's called a credit freeze. And I've had credit freezes on all three of my credit rating accounts because those are the three companies that give you your credit score and your credit rating that banks see, right? So let me preface that for people who didn't know. But there's something called a credit freeze where you can log in online and freeze your credit for an hour, a day, a month, a year, or just leave it permanently frozen, which is what I do. And what that means is that no new accounts with your social security number can ever be opened up while that freeze is on. So people always ask me if I'm scared of getting hacked. I'm like, well, no, because no one can even pull my credit because my credit is frozen,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
right? If I know that, in a month I want to buy, I don't know, a new motorcycle or a new credit card or something like that, right? Apply for anything where my credit needs to be run. I find out what credit agencies they use. It could be one, it could be two, it could be all three. They'll tell me it's TransUnion. I log into TransUnion, unfreeze it for an hour or two so they can run my credit. It automatically freezes after that time period expires. So I'm
That.
protected again.
Mm-hmm.
And they run it, they get the information they need, and I get the approval. Right. But
That's
it
tough.
protects you against and it takes all of a minute to actually freeze and unfreeze your credit. It's something that everybody should be doing right now.
And
Um,
that's something that a lot of people do not know. I was very surprised to hear that you can even do that. So,
yeah, no, absolutely. So there won't be any more disputing transactions and things that are on your credit report. I mean, nothing with your social security number can be ran. Your credit report cannot be pulled. And that's for a job interview, for anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're trying to get an apartment, you have to log in online real quick on your phone, unfreeze it, freeze it back, you're done.
Right.
Um, the second thing I would urge people to do is, again, going back to this theme of purpose, is for people to take some time. Start They can start with their regular bank, the bank that they bank with normally, um, and just look at all the products, the credit card products that they're offering. Look at the variable interest rates. Look at the annual fees. Look at the perks. Are you more of a cash back kind of person, or are you more like I think we are, like a travel? You want travel rewards, right? You want to stack up points so that you can travel for free, or you a hotel guy? Are you more of a dining person? You love to eat out all the time. You need to look and see what those products are before you and see how they fit into your life and into your purpose before you even begin to start getting your credit right and trying to apply for credit cards, because you don't even know what you're working towards. Just working towards having good credit is admirable. Everybody should want to pay their debts and things like that. But I think we're going much deeper with having good credit so that we can use it to better our lives.
Mm-hmm.
That comes with a purpose. We need to
Right.
understand what we're trying to achieve in the next year, 5 years, 10 years. And by looking at the cards that are offered, the loans, the lines of credit that are being offered, and understanding how one of those or multiple of those can fit into your life, into your purpose, it kind of gives you a barometer to figure out how you want to move, how you want to fix things, and what you're working towards.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
those are the two pieces of advice that I would give anybody who's starting this journey where we are right here today. Start by doing those two things, and of course there are a million others, but we don't want to get in the weeds, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
anybody could always comment on this and ask questions. Well, maybe we have a follow up show where we answer some questions that people may have, things like
Definitely.
that. Just let me know. But I think starting there is a great starting point.
Definitely, man. So
Yeah.
for the people who missed it, basically that credit, that cash is a tool, and just because it's available, you don't just go get a tool with no purpose for it. You know, you get a tool when you need it to do something. So you figure out what the purpose is, you build that credit up, and you make it happen. You feel me? It's a tool that people can utilize to make life like to deal with life smarter and not harder. You know, it
There
makes
you
life
go.
smarter
Yeah,
and not hard. You know what I'm trying to say?
no doubt.
So
True.
we got more we're gonna get into with Dave. You know, it's a lot. You know, he been putting us, he been kicking knowledge to us. I done did the freezing myself. You know, he put me down. I was surprised about it. That's something that a lot of people could use. You feel me? Like right now,
Yeah.
people be scamming. A lot of things be going on. So if you know that you don't even got to worry about that, you know that's a different that's another little piece of peace. You know, because
Ooh,
you
yeah.
know, that's something that we all worry about, you know, like you could lose your wallet and not really even care because nobody, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you know, of course you're going to, but you know, it's less of a worry to have, you know, that's so
Yeah.
use that
They can have your
tool,
birth
man,
certificate
utilize it.
and social security numbers, right? As long as they don't have
Yeah,
your login, they can't open an account, right? They can't get a credit
exactly.
card, they can't get a loan, can't do anything, right?
Exactly,
So,
man. That's a piece of peace right there, man. That's a
Yeah.
free piece of, you know, free piece of how you say it?
like peace of
Uh
mind.
right, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So so we appreciate you, Dave, man, for kicking this
Oh,
knowledge to us, man. We're gonna
hey, man.
follow up though. We got more questions, and you know we need more knowledge. We need you to kick that game to us, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, I'm just sharing my bad decisions that I made and had to take years and years and years to correct. And just again finding my purpose. It's a journey. Um, and again, you know, whatever you guys need, just let me know. Just love hanging out with the fellas, yo.
Thank you,
Definitely, this is
man.
dope,
Definitely
and we
appreciate it,
definitely
man.
appreciate your time, man. You know you could have been
No,
doing
no doubt.
anything else, you know. So we
You could be
appreciate your
anywhere in
time,
the
man.
world, but you're
You
here with me.
feel
We
me?
got that whole, yeah.
Feel me, man?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
man.
doubt, no doubt, no doubt. But
Definitely,
yo, I'm
man.
I'm gonna jump off, fella. Yo, let's talk soon. I'll
Yes,
reach back
Definitely.
sir.
out.
Yes,
Definitely. We
sir.
be in touch, man. We be in
Appreciate you.
touch with you.
Oh, no
Yes,
doubt,
sir.
yo. Talk to you soon.
All
Thank you.
right.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, man. That's dope, man. That tool, we gotta utilize that. We gotta use that, man. I'm
Yeah,
already, I'm already doing some of the things that he was putting us down about, So,
for sure, for sure.
hmm
Just to add on, people, I'm just gonna say this, and then we're gonna end this. And get on to some other things. We just definitely appreciate everybody who tuned in. For the people that didn't, this will be always up on here, up on Facebook, but we also gonna have it on. Matter of fact, I'll let Rob. You go,
yeah,
Rob. With
we also got the Twitch page. You become Beans Gold on Twitch. Beans BeansGawd. And then you got Mr. Crawford. What's the numbers on your bro on Twitch?
23, 23, 23.
2323. Mr. Crawford, MrCrawford 2323 on Twitch, on YouTube. You come see It Makes Sense just like you see it up here. Also, we got the TikTok. We on all of those. We do the gaming, we do everything. So we do gaming, we got clothes coming out, all of that. So just stay tapped in, man. Lock in with us. We working on giveaways and everything. We gonna announce the merch when it's almost ready, and then we might do a raffle or something to give away a shirt. We already got somebody who we sending the shirt to, man. But just stay tapped in, man. We got more stuff on the way.
Yeah, definitely do, y'all. And everybody, peace, happy Sunday. Blessings sent on for the rest of the week.
Hmm
Just have faith and do everything that you do in life. Just have faith and treat people like you want to be treated, man. You know what I mean?
And just keep looking out for the next post. We're gonna post and let y'all know the next time we're gonna go live. We're gonna have Dave up there. We're gonna move on with the next line of questioning because we got a lot of stuff to cover when it comes to that credit. It's not just about what credit is. A lot of y'all out there want to know how to fix credit. A lot of y'all want to know, it's a lot of things we're gonna get into. So just stay tapped in.
Definitely. All right, y'all.
All right.
It makes sense, man. Peace.
Got it.